Imagine you have the perfect relationship of 10 years, a loving partner, but then bam, you find out your partner is a terrible, horrible cheater who slept with your best friend. He has a super annoying voice. He wears ugly white nail polish, and his only redeeming contribution to the entire relationship is that he buys batteries. Sound familiar? While most relationship blowups aren't nearly as public as Ariana Madix and Tom Sandoval's, it is important to understand how to navigate a breakup or even a divorce. And just as importantly, how to make sure you stay financially protected throughout the process. In today's episode of Internet School, we're gonna walk through the steps of what to do if you find out your boo thang is doing you dirty. Infidelity can be a devastating life event for all parties involved, especially the person being cheated on. If you do think your boo is cheating, it's a good idea to keep your emotions in check and stay level-headed while tackling the practical financial issues. Please like, comment, and subscribe to learn more about being good with your money. Let's get to it. First and foremost, it's time to put your FBI hat on and gather evidence. Photos of him and a lover, videos of the two of them kissing, screenshots of texts. File these away somewhere safe. I don't mean to torture you, but some states recognize fault, like adultery, as a deciding factor in how marital property gets divided. So if you can prove an affair, you could get more. And I'm not saying you'll get more of your shared assets just because they cheated, but cheating often isn't cheap. The costs your partner spent on gifts, dinners out, a hotel room, and maybe even a secret phone bill could all be considered misuse of your marital money, meaning in the settlement, you'd get more than just 50-50. 2. Understand your marital estate. To calculate your marital estate, you'd find the difference in a couple's net worth from the day they got married to the date of a separation. The marital estate is what courts look at during a divorce settlement to determine how property and assets will be divided. You'll want to have a good understanding of what assets you have, what assets they have, do you have joint assets, what are they worth. This includes tangible things like homes and cars, but also intangibles like checking accounts, savings accounts, retirement accounts, and just more generally speaking, investments. You'll also want to get a good understanding of what debts you guys share together, things like your mortgage or car loans. Credit card debt is a bit trickier as it's handled differently by state. States are either one of two designations. Some states are community property states, while others are common law states. Generally speaking, states that follow common law property rules hold the spouse who incurred the debts responsible for its repayment. On the other hand, states that follow community property rules hold both spouses responsible for debts incurred during the marriage, even if said credit card was not a joint credit card. Most states, 41 out of 50, are common law states, but Arizona, California, Idaho, Louisiana, Nevada, New Mexico, Texas, Washington, and Wisconsin are community property states, so just keep that in mind. 3. Do not try and hide marital money. Lots of scorned partners immediately think, how can I siphon money away from our marital estate so that my soon-to-be ex will be left with nothing because they're a horrible, evil cheater? In the past, people have attempted to hide money in their own names or with family members, and while gifting money to family members or opening up a new bank account to squirrel away a bunch of money is not illegal, it likely won't lead to your desired outcome. The court system will likely notice the timing of these transactions and draw the money back into the marital estate. So you'll have done all of that for nothing. And while I did say do not try to hide any marital money, this is a good time to start thinking about your upcoming finances and how they'll look once you're no longer tethered to your partner. I highly recommend starting your own emergency fund that only takes into account your expenses, as well as potentially opening up new bank accounts that will only be in your name versus having them jointly held. If you want to check out the high yield checking and savings account I recommend and personally use, check out the link in the description. I don't see why you should have a regular bank account that pays you very little interest when you can get a high yield checking and savings account that pays you significantly more interest. And last but definitely not least, don't drain your finances to fight an ex. I'm sure you want to stick it to them, but fighting for every penny in a divorce court will be extremely time-consuming and expensive. In many cases, you'll be better off financially coming to an agreeable settlement with as little time in court as possible. And I know it doesn't sound sexy, but given that the divorce rate is about half of all marriages, I would highly recommend getting a prenup to avoid any heartache later on. I hope this video helps guide you if you do ever find yourself in a situation where you want to exit a relationship and need to protect your money. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe for more money, spending, and finance tips.